All right, let's go. Today we are talking avionics. And if you know a little bit about me, I own an aviation services business. I'm an Air Force pilot. I'm a certified flight instructor and an AMPIA. We're a Garmin dealer out in East Tennessee. Today I wanted to focus in on the Cirrus packages and options that you've got, specifically with Garmin, and what some of the planes that I fly, what I'm noticing, and what I think would be a good recommendation. So if you have any questions, if you've got one of those G1, G2, G3 Cirruses with the old Avidyne package, this is the video for you. I think you're going to get a lot out of it and just give you some good options, which they're really, you've only got two picks, right? You got Avidyne, who's fixing to come out with Vantage, which they've announced it. It's just not approved to go in the planes, which looks awesome. Obviously, the GTN suite is freaking phenomenal, and you will see it. So check it out here. Here's a plane that I actually fly quite a bit. It's a plane that I service locally, and this has the old standard, I would say actually, 2007, 2008, this was top of the line. This thing was freaking awesome. And you can see it's got the old Integras in there, and that was it. Anyone that has this series of plane, this is freaking frustrating, because these Integra screens, Avidyne has gone through a couple phases, and I'm an Avidyne dealer too, so I'm not trying to toss any shade or trash at them, but they kind of went through a couple phases, and during, after 2008 and on, just like most businesses, they struggled mightily, so they didn't do a lot of upgrading on these screens. And then they also had this issue with, their warranty, which was like several $1,000s, and they forced people to buy it. And so I really hate it for them, because there's so many people that want to upgrade to that Vantage screen, which look phenomenal, but they still have like this really bad taste in their mouth from the years where Avidyne was essentially making them purchase these warranty packages at several $1,000s a clip if you had any issue with it. So, and that's feedback. I mean, that's just something that Avidyne's going to have to work through over the years. It's what they had to do to get them through that period, but now it is an uphill battle. But anyways, for the most part, the system works fine. It's not terrible or anything, but it's ripe for an upgrade. You can see in this one, I still have a lot of planes that we do maintenance on that have those old Garmin 430s in them, and then they got upgraded to the WAS units as well. Got the old GMA 345, and this one actually at least had a better transponder, and they ended up putting the upgraded Avidyne autopilot in there. So it has a slight upgrade, but this is a standard package, and what's next? Where can you go from here? Because the 430s are being phased out. Garmin has said, hey, if we're actually not going to service these once we run out of parts, we're not going to make any new parts for it. So as soon as we're done with the parts, that's it. So if you've got those old Garmin 430s, the next time they break, you may fix it, or you might just go ahead and decide to upgrade. So what are your options, right? In this video, I'm going to focus heavily on this bad boy right here. And this is the GTN series that you can upgrade for Cirrus. It is phenomenal, and I've got hours in the cockpit with this system. It is really nice. If you have any experience with GTN, you know the intuitive process that Garmin has. I'm a little bit more used to having more of an FMS system, but this is made for people that are trying. I mean, I can sit down with someone, and for 5 minutes, if you're a basic pilot, I can show you how to run this system. It is very simple, and the glass displays are just beautiful. A lot of people they don't like the touchscreen, but for the most part, I haven't really had too many issues with this. I think they made the buttons big enough to where I can, even on a bumpy, if there's quite a bit of turbulence, I can still function and get to where I need to do input a flight plan or any of that stuff. So you can tell this one here, it's got the GFC autopilot as well, which is just a huge upgrade even from the Avidyne, newest autopilot that they have. The autopilot that Avidyne has doesn't have an auto level off is number one. So that takes a little bit of getting used to when you're used to auto capture altitude from a Garmin autopilot or most other autopilots. But this one, you got to level it off and hit out. Takes me back to the old school days in the tankers where you had old school planes. It definitely did not auto level off, and it may have had the original KC135s and the most recent models before they got upgraded. They have a separated flight director and autopilot, so you have to operate them separately. It's super annoying, but this is a major upgrade from this. It just looks beautiful. I would say if we're going to do it, I would also, you can see a lot of these Cirruses, that bolster panel that goes around all the avionics there, the black separating the gray, really doesn't hold up well. And, I would resurface that or put a new one in while you're doing it. Just give it that facelift. But you can see in this what you're missing, right? So just look at it from here. You've got an audio panel, 2 independent navigators. You've got an autopilot panel and then a transponder. So you got a stack of 4 high right there. So swap it over to this. You've only got 2 navigators and a autopilot there. And what they did was, if you're not familiar with the GTN 750s and 650s, so that larger display, you've got your audio panel already integrated into it and your transponders. It saves you a lot of real estate and it is beautiful. Really can't say enough good things about the GFC 500. It's just the thing that Garmin has had on the market forever that no one can really compete with it. I'm a Dynon dealer as well. I love Dynon. I really do. But man, their autopilot works great, but they've just been so slow to get the approvals. Anyone that's waiting on a Dynon approval knows. This plane right behind me, they want to do full up Dynon, but they've been waiting for years and years on an autopilot system. So it's really frustrating. But Garmin has had this just I would say it's on a professional level. If you were to go from this to a professional level autopilot, it's very similar. It's very intuitive. You've got the big blue button. It has auto level off. All those things are just wonderful with it. And then obviously in this setup, they put the selector panel up in the middle where your standby instruments are. Looks like they put a GI-275 there. This one's just a stock fit photo. Notice they did all this work to it and left the S-Tech autopilot. Whoever did this install needs to be slapped because that is not okay. Leave an S-Tech 55X in and upgrade everything else. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Just a little bit of information on those. I do have quite a bit of experience flying behind both of them and installing both of them. I think it's definitely worth the upgrade. I would say the level of simplicity that brings you adds back situational awareness, right? And ultimately safety. Anytime that you can take more off your plate in the cockpit and free up, as pilots say through the Air Force, this is a phrase that we say a lot is, freeing up brain bites. It does, and it can create situational awareness and maybe that's the one thing that you needed that day when everything else went wrong. So I do think it adds safety and it brings simplicity to the cockpit and it looks beautiful. So resale stuff, everyone likes flashy. I don't think you're going to get dollar for dollar for your avionics back out of the plane, but it will be easier to sell. Typically when you go to sell it, they're going to look at it as either, hey, this is an updated cockpit or not. That's typically how the sales process, where you can put the plane in the market. I'm not like, okay, I put this bill in on top of the sale price. So little tidbit of information there. Obviously, we're a Garmin dealer. We'd love to do this for you. We're focusing on Cirruses, and we do Bonanzas and other airplanes, any of these 6-seat Pipers as well. But we really, our bread and butter is the Cirrus. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. There's going to be a link on this video, and we'd love to help you not only with Garmin avionics or PermaGuard, the ceramic coating or polymer coating, or electro air. So a lot of good components right now and upgrades for the Cirrus community, which is incredible. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.